Have you ever been called an Oreo? I have. I was called it so much I thought it was my middle name. Let's get into the show. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the SOPHIEJO, the SOPHIEJO, the SOPHIEJO show. Whoa, 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 yeah. Hey guys, we are back on another episode of the SOPHIEJO show. I am your girl, Sophie the Entertainer, and thanks so much for being here this episode. We have a great show planned, so make sure you are tuned in, whether it's on your phone, on your iPad, your laptop, or your TV. We accept all viewership. Let's get into the show. So guys, this episode we are going to get into a little bit of pop culture, of course, but our main topic of discussion, I'm really excited to talk about this because it's something that I personally went through, okay? Being labeled and called an Oreo. If you don't know what that is, I ain't talking about Nabisco with the cookies, okay? So guys, it has been shown that Ariana Grande released a small video on socials and things like that, TikTok, of her basically, it looked like she was in rehearsals. I think she is going to be going on tour soon. I'm excited about the tour because Ariana Grande is actually one of my favorite pop singers slash she's a real singer aside from pop, but she's one of my faves. I know she took a break. She was doing her acting thing with the with the Wicked. And I'm excited that she is back in the stew. She's about to go on tour. I think so. If she is, that's another tour I need to get my money together for, because I've always wanted to go to an Ariana Grande show or concert. Me and my sister are big fans of her. And I just wanted to talk about Ariana Grande being a great singer, period. Aside from pop music, she's a great singer overall. And that brings me into the discussion. It's been a little bit of conversation going on in the streets. When I say the streets, I'm talking about online, social media, things like that, about Beyonce not being labeled as one of the top songwriters. It's always been a debate, I feel like, throughout Beyonce's full career, is if she is a really great singer. We know she's an excellent entertainer, but some people don't label her as a great singer. So I want to name a few people who I think are great singers. I'm talking about this day and age. A lot of our great vocalists, they have left the building, and I mean RIP. Okay, so I just want to name, we do have some that are left. They just slept on, or they're not as popular. Number one, Jasmine Sullivan. Come on now. If I could forget him, I would, please believe me. And I know that I should throw the towel in, but baby, it's not that easy. Hey, you're treating me so much better than him. And if I was sane, there'll be no competition. But I'm in love with someone else. And I know it ain't right. You should go and find someone else who would treat you right, give you the world. Someone who understands the man you are. 'Cause baby, you shine so bright, and I would just dim your star. A girl who would treat you like you treat them. Okay, enough. That was enough. That was enough. I was just thinking of Jasmine Sullivan being one of the greatest singers, and that song popped in my mind. We all know her runs are crazy. Her range is crazy. Her just talent, pure talent. Once again, I say it in every show. Talent is something that can't be taught nor bought, baby. It's God-given. So Jasmine Sullivan. I already say Ariana Grande. Y'all got to really tap into it, because if y'all thinking about just, her pop stuff, get into her real singing. Oh my gosh. Ledisi. Oh, Ledisi easily in my top 5 singers of all time, dead or alive. Ledisi is in my top 5 for sure. Love Ledisi's voice. She really uses her voice as an instrument. When I used to be in high school, I was in chorus. Actually, my senior year, I won vocalist of the year. So, anyways, our chorus teacher, she would always say, singers, other than like people who play instruments, you know, piano, guitar, whatever, our voice is an instrument. And Lettucey is a perfect example of someone who really uses their vocals as an instrument. Okay. Who else? I'm looking through my phone because I don't know off the top of my head. I think Money Long is a great singer. Heather Headley, great singer. She's not like, you know, on the R&B charts or anything, but she's a great singer. You know what? Now, this next lady I'm about to say, she's always in a whole bunch of mess and she's quite controversial and she just always has a lot going on. But aside from all that, I think Tamar Braxton is a really great singer. Okay. Oh, of course, Adele. Come on now. Adele. What a great singer. Of course, Mariah Carey. I'm talking about people alive. Okay. Mariah Carey, we already know what that's hit info. Yeah, my list isn't that long, y'all. So, of course, Anita Baker, love her. Leona Lewis, slept on, but Leona Lewis. Melanie Fiona, oh my gosh, incredible vocalist, Melanie Fiona. So those are just a few. Of course, you know, there's other people who I haven't mentioned, but of course, love Layla Hathaway down. Sam Smith can really sing when he's not doing his pop stuff. So those are just to name a few about the singers who are still alive and well and doing a thing. People always say we don't have great singers left in the world. Yes, we do. We do. Anyways, moving along from that, guys, we have found out that one of my faves, Drewski, is going to be hosting the 2026 BET Awards. I'm looking forward to it because Drewski is funny, entertaining, and I think this is just perfect. This is almost expected for him to do within, you know, next in his career because he's been absolutely killing it with his skits that he does online. And I mean, the budget, yesterday's price ain't today's price. Cause I saw that last skit Drewski did. He was playing like a British person playing an American slave. Like, he is really spending money, time, and quality and effort into the production of his skits. So I'm looking forward to him hosting the 2026 BET Awards. I know it's going to be funny, and I think he's going to do a great job. Never mind, I'll find someone like you. I wish nothing but the best for you too. Don't forget me, I beg. I remember you said sometimes it lasts in love, but sometimes it hurts instead. Y'all know what I'm ready to come back on our TV screens. Like I'm looking forward to it. I'm waiting because I know we're trickling down and we getting close to that season. It's almost that season. Love Island USA. I'm ready for it. Some people are like thinking, oh, it'll never be as good as season 6. I agree. Season 6 was the best, but whatever season's gonna come on, I'm ready for it. I love just watching it. It comes on every day except 2 days a week, and how like we are all simultaneously on like TikTok and Twitter. Like, it's like we're talking to each other, but we're not. So I am looking forward to Love Island. I'm ready for it. Shout out, big congrats, hats off to Alandria. I think she just bought like a condo or a penthouse or something like that. I saw it on Instagram. Like, wow, the power of being, you know, given an opportunity, and then you take that and you just really expound on it and you take advantage of your opportunity and resources. So shout out to Olandria, the Olandria. Guys, let's move into our topic of discussion for today. I'm looking forward to it because I got some stuff I need to get off my chest. Am I the only person who's been called an Oreo before? Guys, I have to tell you about just my upbringing. Okay, so let's get into it. So elementary school, I wasn't really called an Oreo, but 4th grade is when I guess started to attend a more diverse school, I guess. I don't know. Okay. All the way up until 4th grade, I went to majority black schools. But fourth grade, my family moved, and back then it's just so crazy because I guess kids really don't see color. In fourth grade, now looking back, I was the only black kid in my class, but during that time I didn't really realize it. I was just playing with the kids, and I was making friends. I had sleepovers, but I didn't realize I was the only black kid in the class. But now that I know that, looking back, it does make sense why my fourth grade teacher, Miss Fortunato, told my mama that I was the bully. I wasn't the bully of that class. But now looking back, probably because I was the only black kid in there, she just wanted to paint me as the bully. You know what? Actually, in fourth grade, I won. Was it president or vice president of my class? If I was a bully, why would everybody vote for me? Anyway, so fourth grade, I was the only black kid. Fifth grade, I probably was like the second or third black kid in my class, same school. And then sixth grade, I wasn't really called, like fourth grade, fifth grade, sixth grade, I wasn't called an Oreo. Now I know I was the only black kid in the class, but people weren't calling me an Oreo because most of my classmates were white. Okay. Now this is when the change and the transition happens. Seventh grade, I moved away to a completely new state. I moved to Louisiana, and I ain't gonna lie to you, I was almost shell shocked. What's it called? Culture shocked, whatever the word is. And I went to a predominantly black school in the country. And that's when the O word started coming up. Seventh grade, eighth grade, and then high school, I was called an Oreo for sure. Okay. Even all the way up until early adulthood, I was called an Oreo. And if you guys don't know what an Oreo is, it's just somebody who's, like a cookie, black on the outside, white on the inside. So I think because I had moved from being at a predominantly white school for like at least 4 years, and then I went to a predominantly black school, I guess just certain things I did and said and ways I said things made people think about white people. And, when I was a kid, even now, I talked really proper. And first off, my mom was a freaking teacher, the English major in college. So we use subject verb agreement in my household. Okay. My sister used to take speech classes when she was little, and it made her speak very, very well and just proper, I guess. And it rubbed off on me. And that's just how messed up our society is, or our class of people, because we think, when you speak well or you speak proper or you use subject verb agreement, you are talking white. That is the most asinine thing I've ever heard. Saying stuff like that, people will be like, oh, asinine, what? Like, that's the craziest thing I've ever heard. So when I moved away in seventh grade and middle school, I guess people just weren't used to the way that I spoke. It wasn't very urban led. It was just, I don't know, regular English, proper English. And there were certain things that I wasn't interested in, or I wouldn't do, that some of those kids were doing. And I wasn't judging. I'm just a kid back then. But now looking back, yeah, y'all was doing some stuff that I wasn't gonna do. Even it happens now. Right now, to this day, it's people in my family who think me and my sister are, put ourselves on a pedestal because we sound a certain way or we carry ourselves in a certain way. That is so crazy to me. We have got to get better as a people. Just because someone speaks well, they use subject verb agreement, they maybe went to college, maybe they didn't, they sound educated in their speech, doesn't mean they are trying to be white or they don't want to be black. Just like my other episode, just because a black person isn't from the hood or didn't have to get it out the mud doesn't make me less black. It doesn't make me, less important as a black person in America. There's just so much we have to get past. And also, when I went to high school, I heard a little bit of the Oreo stuff. And I did, like middle school, I hung out with black and white kids. And then like my demographic changed when I went to high school. It was like all my friends were black. Not that that means anything, but I'm just trying to give y'all some perspective. And then even when I did go to high school, like the Oreo thing was starting to wear off a little bit, but in certain groups of kids or girls, I would still hear the Oreo comment. And then when I graduated high school, not in college, I never heard the Oreo thing in college because people have sense over there. But when I started to kind of sort of step into the real adult world, and one of my first jobs, I was a waitress. And I just wish I was the person I am now, because y'all know I'm Malcolm X. But back then, I was a waitress at a restaurant, very diverse, waitress. If y'all ever worked in the service industry, y'all know how it gets, okay? So there's two situations that happened, and I wish I was the person I am now back then. There was this white girl, she said the N-word in front of me. She didn't call me the N-word, but she said the N-word in front of me. Like she was singing some white people who think they black, those kind. She was like rapping Drake or singing some song, and she said the N-word. Now looking back, that was crazy. I don't know what I did back then. I think I just like took a double look, like what the heck? But I didn't say anything. If I was who I am now, I definitely would have said something. What makes you feel comfortable to say the N-word in front of me and you are white? Anyways, so that's one incident that happened when I was a server. And then I had a manager, this white guy, and for some reason a lot of the workers thought he was so cute. Yeah, he was a manager and I actually could not stand him. But I think this was at the very, very top of like Black Lives Matter. I'm trying to think who was murdered, because there's been so many I can't even keep up. After Trayvon Martin, I want to say it was Mike Brown, but I'm not 100% sure. It was during that time, I think. And I had a car decal on the back of my Toyota Camry, all black, SLE. And it said Black Lives Matter. It was the logo on the bumper of my car. And very dangerous of me to do, actually, but I loved it for myself. Anyways, I came to work. Once again, I'm being me, but like sometimes I am sometimes I am very proper. Sometimes I'm a little bit more chill. It's not me putting on a show. It's just what comes out. So y'all hear it on this show. Sometimes I'm very and sometimes I'm very, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, the manager tells me I'm more black than you. This is a white man. First off, he's like 30. Once again, I'm trying to give you like context. He's like hot in some of the people's eyes, and he think he got a little bit of a little oomph, a little swag, whatever. And anyways, he tells me I'm more blacker than you. First off, you're not even using that word right, because you can't say more and ER. It's either more black or I'm blacker, not more blacker than you. So first, get that right. But I don't even know what I said to him back then, but probably just like to keep things at ease, because he was my manager. And knowing me, like I will laugh something off in a second, especially if I'm uncomfortable or in an uncomfortable situation. I probably just laughed it off and walked away. I don't know. So, but if I was who I am now, the way I would have just lost my marbles if somebody ever told me that. And that's not the first time someone has told me that. I've heard that at least 3 times in my life. I'm more black than you. Okay. Elaborate, please. Oh, you think because you talk in AAVE that you are more black than me? That trumps my black experience as being a black woman born here in America? You've been oppressed? Oh, okay. Yeah. Anyways, so even like, especially back then, like I was wearing my hair more natural, like, and I still do, but I was wearing it in twist outs and braid outs, just wearing it big, how I really love to wear my hair like that. And I would always get comments on my hair. And I just take it as people hating. People envy what they can't have. White people can't grow a fro, so I chalk it up to that. The thing about it being black that's so beautiful, black people, we can literally do any style out there. We can do braids, a fro, slick back, twists, locks. We can wear it straight. But white people, you can't make an afro, and y'all don't look right with braids, so you're stuck with those 3 scoops of hair you got on your head. Hey, but I also wanted to tap a little bit into the psychology that happens with Black kids attending a predominantly white school. So a lot of times parents, I think, they feel as though placing their Black children in a predominantly white school that, oh, they're going to a good school, they're going to get a better education, afforded more opportunities, so on and so forth. All that is fine and dandy. That is great that they're going to have the advantage, academically, but low key, you're messing them up socially, because imagine being raised around or going to a school and all you see is people who don't look like you. So socially, you're not getting the full Black experience, I think, that you need when growing up and maturing into and who you're going to be in life. That didn't happen with me. My mom and dad didn't choose to put me in a predominantly white school because of those reasons. I had to go to that school because we ended up moving. And that was the school that I had to go to. But it wasn't like, oh, you're going to go to this school because it's a better school or you're going to get a better education. Because my predominantly Black schools I was going to, I was doing just fine as well, academic wise. So sometimes things just happen. But a lot of parents do, feel like placing their children in predominantly white spaces is going to accelerate them. And it might, there are great things that could come out of that. But just socially, they need to think about, okay, I don't want my Black child to grow up and think, there's no beauty in Black. There's no trust in Black. There's no friendship in Black. I want them to be able to know, like, oh, Black is beautiful. Black is important. And Black is power. Even when it comes to college, I went to a PWI, predominantly white institute. And I specifically remember when it was getting time for me to graduate high school and I was thinking about college, I remember kind of like talking to myself or whatever and evaluating, do I want to go to an HBCU or do I want to go to a PWI? And I remember telling myself, oh, I want to go to a PWI because I like diversity. Like, I like being in the mix of Black, white, Asian persuasion, Latina. And I just wanted to have that melting pot. But now I really, really, truly wish I would have gone to an HBCU. Hey, nothing I can do now. I thought about going to grad school, but it would be a waste of money. But if I did, I would go to an HBCU. So y'all be sure to let me know if you have ever experienced being titled an Oreo. Not just me, my sister was called an Oreo as well. I have a cousin, Alicia. Shout out to my cousin Alicia. She was called an Oreo. It's just, and once again, I want y'all to know, I was called these things from other Black people. It wasn't white people calling me an Oreo. It was Black people calling me an Oreo because I didn't sound exactly like them or act exactly like them. It's called differentiation. Is that the word? Being diverse. Black people, we are not a monolith. We come in multiple different colors, shapes, sizes, ways, hair, skin complexions. I mean, but like I said, that was back then when I was, a teenager, preteen, and I hope all those people who called me an Oreo have elevated their minds and opened their eyes and expanded to a new horizon, expanded their horizons and realized that Black people are not a monolith. I'm not offended no more, boo. I hope you have done some growing. Y'all, let's get into our last segment of the show. What's the segment called? Sophie said it first. Okay. I'm going to flip through my quote book and let's see what quote we can find. Okay, I did that one. Hold on. Let's stop here. This is a quote by Ralph Waldo Emerson, published in 2008. We have keys to all doors. The door is closed. The world is all gates, all opportunities, all strings of tension waiting to be struck. Okay. I'm going to read it again. We have keys to all doors. The world is all gates, all opportunities, all strings of tension waiting to be struck. That was a quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson. Can I read? I like what this quote is saying. I think it's saying like the world is your oyster. And that's actually another topic that I want to get into on another episode. But I think that quote from him is saying the world is your oyster. Anything you want to do, you can do it. It's just about, I think, being determined and thinking and believing that you can do it. I always feel like if God placed it on your heart, he put it there for a reason. That's from my girl Tabitha Brown. and I feel like you should tap into it, pursue it, look into it, and yeah, boo. That wraps up this episode of the SOPHIEJO, the SOPHIEJO, the SOPHIEJO show. I hope y'all enjoyed this episode. Make sure to subscribe. Follow me on TikTok at Sophie the Entertainer. If you don't know how to spell, I don't know what to tell you. TikTok, Instagram, all the good stuff. And I'll see you guys in my next episode.